Welcome to Sound Off. I'm Matt Pinfield, coming to you from the penthouse suite at the Soho Grand in New York City. Today's guest started out playing basements and bars as a punk band in Buffalo, New York. Now they're one of the biggest pop groups in America. Sound Off now welcomes Robbie, John, and Mike of the Goo Goo Dolls. Guys, welcome. Great to have you here.
It's great to be here with you, man.
We go back, we have such an old, our friendship goes back years. I remember where, I was running the radio station on the Jersey Shore, and having you guys coming down and playing. Loved your record. Played, obviously you've done records before, but Hold Me Up was a record that had come out when I was running the station on Metal Blade, and songs like There You Are and Just the Way You Are. What a great record that was. And we hung out down there.
Yeah.
It was cool. Let's talk about how you guys ended up forming originally. Tell me a bit about that, Sean.
Well, I was playing in a band with Robbie's cousin up in Buffalo, and it's a pretty incestuous music scene, really small, and everybody was in everybody's band, and it was actually kind of odd how we met each other, but I was in a band with his cousin. We met each other under some dubious, probably illegal circumstances.
Just partying and getting wild?
Definitely illegal circumstances
yeah.
that we met each other under, and then we just decided we wanted to play together.
Metal Blade thing. We were on Metal Blade for a while, and then there was a little. Do you guys want to talk about that at all? Or
Yeah, sure. Not? It's just everybody has to learn a lesson the hard way.
And it's been 7 years, so we can probably do it legally.
That's right. It's probably legal. Is it legal? No, let's talk about it.
That, but it's whatever. It's like you leave. It's the music business. If you leave an opening, someone's going to fill it. How's that? Is that a good way to say it?
Right. Yeah.
Show someone an opening and they'll generally fill it.
Yeah. I like that personally. That's a nice
metaphor. But it taught us a really good lesson. About just making the right decisions. And that sometimes you want to keep your artistic integrity and your freedom and all that, but at the end of the day, once it leaves the room where it's safe in your hands, you got to be real careful who gets their mitts on it,
Yeah.
And signing papers and all that kind of business, So
Let's talk about when you joined the band, Mike, and and how the whole thing took place. You were friends with the guys before?
No, I was just a fan. They're talking about their first record. I was in Texas. I bought it, so they sold some outside of Buffalo.
Yeah.
So that was 1987. And I was playing in garage bands of my own and grunge bands and everything in Texas, and where I went to college. So I was living there for a few years. So kind of similar scenes, and had all their records when they came out, and then just through their manager knew me, and just basically hooked me up with them in early '95.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We talked about records for about 3 hours, played music for about half an hour.
Tell me a bit about the whole City of Angels thing and how that took place.
Well, it was funny because I was temporarily living in Los Angeles in a hotel called the La Park, and I was sitting in my room playing my guitar, and I broke 2 strings on my guitar, and then I was sitting there playing a 4-string guitar, and just detuning it and messing around with it, and then Pat, our manager, he said, well, this guy Danny Bramson wants you to come down and see this movie City of Angels. So I went and saw the film, went back to the hotel. And it was one of those moments that just kind of, bam, it just, I detuned the guitar. I'm trying to play around the missing strings. And the funny thing about it was, this is how classic this guy Danny Bramson is.
Yeah, I love Danny. He's good people.
He's an amazing person, really, and people don't know who he is. Once again, he's one of these like shadowy behind the scenes guys who really had a huge influence on Cameron Crowe's career, definitely, and Tom Petty, he was involved with Tom Petty in that.
Yeah, he's a guy who started Backstreet Records, and did that whole thing, and worked at Universal Amphitheater. He's got this whole incredible story. Really great guy.
Incredible story.
Yeah, he and Danny were, he and Cameron were best friends for years, too.
And the interesting thing was I packed up this 4-string guitar and drove over to Burbank with Pat and sat down in his office and said, I'm sorry, the guitar's only got 4 strings on it, and it'll sound great, but check this out. And I played it for him, and he was like, yeah, let's do this. Like, he could actually hear the potential in it,
So guys, Let Love In, a new record. Some great songs on that one. And one of the things that I love is that you've done since I've been following the band always is the fact that the shared writing thing, the shared vocal thing, you know. And tell me about how that works when it comes time to make a record, like on Let Love In, when you say, well, you know what, I got this many songs, or do you ever go into it with songs in advance, or you say, well, you write a few here, you do this kind of vocal thing? How does that work out, the relationship between the two of you?
Well, you know, John, you know, writing the bulk of the record,
Yeah.
you know, we start to get kind of an idea of where the record's going. And,
Yeah.
And then we try to just find the places, you know, that the kind of style that I like to write and perform in, you know, with the band, you know, where those fit into the record. And that's sort of how the process comes together.
Yeah. Guys, I want to thank you for coming by.
Hey,
it's great to have
absolutely,
you.
man.
It's great to be
Anytime.
here, man. Great to see you again.
Always good to see you guys.
Absolutely.